Hey guys, it's Vornskyr here, and today we're back in Euro Truck Sim 2, and we're taking a look at update 1.20. This update, it's not a huge update, but it does have a few cool little features, so we'll go through those. There are also a number of kind of minor bug fixes and that sort of things, fixes for the AIs and little texture things and that sort of thing. So look at the details on those. The patch notes will be in the video description. But anyway, let's go through these features. So the first one, which is really cool, is the GPS. You can now kind of set waypoints on it and kind of control your route a little bit better. So you can see I've got this job at the moment from Calais to Dresden. Now if I wanted to, let's say I wanted to detour up through Scandinavia or whatever on the way to completing this job. So you might notice I've got this little, on my cursor I've got this little icon. That's where you add the waypoints. So if I just want to click on this city here, we'll go over there. And I can click here and we'll go there as well. And here and here. And so now we've set up a nice little tour through, Scandinavia on the way to Dresden. It is slightly different when you don't have a job. So let me actually just drop this job, and we'll see what that's like. So cancel current job. Yep. And once this is done, there we go. Finally. Okay. So now we can set our waypoints again, but you'll notice there's a new checkbox, which is add new checkpoints only to the end. So what it does before is, so if you don't have this checked, it will add the new waypoints kind of in the middle of the route to make it the most efficient route possible, basically. So if you add this checkpoint though, you can just set wherever you want to go. So say you want to go here, then here, here, here. You see what I mean? So it's doing, it looks like there's a maximum of 10 waypoints, by the way. But yeah, it lets you do however you want when you've got that check button. So add new checkpoints only to the end. If I uncheck this, so I've got my waypoint here, if I add another one down here, you see it kind of reroutes it to make it the most efficient route possible, so you're not doubling back and going the whole way. So you do have a couple of different ways of choosing your route, basically. And yeah, it's just a really cool little feature. I mean, it's more probably used for, well, I suppose there's a couple of things it's useful for. One is kind of a role-playing sort of thing. If you want to go from one city to another, but you really hate these people on the city halfway in between, you don't want to go there, I guess you could do something like that. I suppose the other thing that would be really good for is doing discoveries. So let's say, let's reset this. Let's say I wanted to go to Köln down here, but I also want to discover Dusseldorf. It's not the best example, but you could do that. Or say you wanted to go to Poznan, but you wanted to discover all the cities in between. That'd be one way of doing it. Just add these little routes to the end. So let's try to do that. Let's just click here. Okay, and so you can see we're bypassing these cities at the moment. So let's actually just click on here and on here, and that way you're actually going to get those discovery points on the way. So that's one useful thing you could use it for. So yeah, it's a really cool little feature, and it's pretty nice. So there are other things though, so let's have a look at these. So one other thing that's been added is the image browser. Or image spotlight, sorry. So this is basically a selection of screenshots that have been added to the World of Trucks website, and these are the editor's pick, or a selection from the editor's pick. So these are optional. When you first load up the game after downloading 1.2, it will give you an option to allow this or not. So, because it does have to download some of these images and everything, so they've decided to give us all the choice. And what's also cool about these is that they're sometimes used for the loading screens. Now, some mods will override that, because I think like Pro Mods and that sort of thing has its own loading screen images. But if I think you can actually look at them closer by clicking this little button. Yeah, so you can either zoom in on them here, or you can view them on the World of Trucks website. But yeah, so these will appear as kind of little backdrop images on the loading screen. I should actually be able to show you this if I just load back to the profiles page and then continue. There's only a certain number of places where you actually see loading screens in this game. One of them is loading in from the profiles page. Of course, you've got the ferries and everything as well, and this is taking a very long time to continue. I guess it's because of all those mods and stuff that I've got. But hopefully it doesn't just freeze up. But anyway, so that's the, there we go. So that's the image spotlight. It's pretty cool. once this eventually loads in. And no, it hasn't showed at that time. So it's not a, I guess it's kind of just a chance that it will have one of those image spotlight pictures or one of the default ones. But anyway, so there is another change as well to do with the sun position. Now this one's kind of interesting. Basically, in real life, the sun will appear different depending on where you are in the world. That's, you know, just kind of normal thing that most people know, I think. As it is, or as it was previously in the game, the sun would kind of appear the same wherever you were. So whether you're all the way down here in Italy or all the way up here in like Norway or Sweden or whatever, Scandinavia, the sun would kind of appear the same. So what they've actually done now is they have changed that so that the sun will appear different depending on where you are in the world. Now apparently this is something that as long as whoever does it puts in the right like details, this can work for wherever you are in the world, even though they've only got Europe modeled here. So I suppose, and I'm not 100% sure of this, but I suppose it's technically possible that somebody could add in a mod of, say, Australia, and if they put in the right information, then the sun would appear like it does in Australia. I don't really know. That's a really cool little idea though, I guess. Anyway, so we are at Calais at the moment, and this is what the sun looks like, I suppose. You can't really see it. Maybe if I go to the console camera. Let's try this. So that's the sun there. That's kind of what it looks like. So let's go up north to Scandinavia, and we'll see if we can spot any differences. I'm not really sure we'll be able to, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so we're just going to Oslo. And the sun may be a bit higher in the sky. I'm really not sure. This is one of those things that's really kind of hard to tell, at least for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's like I said, it's kind of difficult to tell really, but it maybe does seem that the sun's a bit higher in the sky. Like I said, I'm really struggling to notice the difference or anything here, but it's a cool idea anyway, and I think it's probably one of those things that you'll notice a lot more kind of gradually driving through. Like if you're just making a long trip, you might notice the sun position changing a bit, although of course it will also most likely be going day to night when you're doing that, so maybe you won't notice it at all. Either way, it's one of those cool kind of little realism things that's really nice to see being added, even if you can barely even notice it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so as I said, it's not a huge update. There's no new trucks or anything like that. I don't think there's any new paint packs to buy or anything, but they're just some really nice little tweaks and fixes and everything. And this is the sort of thing that will most likely carry over to American Truck Sim as well. Because obviously, let's just bring my truck in here, just drop him right in the middle of the roundabout. There we go. But yeah, these are the sort of features that... Oh, what's happening? Right, I'm pressing the wrong buttons, that's what's happening. There we go. But yeah, these are the sorts of features that will carry over between the games, because it's all sort of engine stuff, I guess. And that's kind of one of the big things that they're doing is they've got their teams working on Euro Truck Sim and American Truck Sim, and you know, features or additions to one will generally be added to the other. So yeah, that's all really cool. But that's about it, I think. So like I said previously, the details of all those minor bug fixes and everything are in the patch notes, and I will put a link to that in the video description. I don't think there's anything massive in there. I did read over them. I didn't see anything that really jumped out at me. Yeah, a lot of it is kind of minor stuff that most people won't notice, I think, but it all, you know, adds into making the game better, I suppose. But yeah, so I think I will end this one here. So that is update 1.2. It's not a big update, but it's a pretty cool one. So until next time, I've been Vornskyr. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.